I'd like to call upon the subconscious, please.
Yes, yes, indeed. I want to say, I am here, I am here, I am here, the subconscious, for the vehicle that you're speaking through. So thank you very much for allowing me to come in today.
Thank you for coming in. We do have some questions for you. So would it be okay if I start now?
Absolutely.
The first question we have is, what percentage of starseeds are there on this planet, such as Draconian, Pleiadian, Arcturian, for example?
Mm-hmm. We see that there is around a 20 to 30% of the Draconians, around the same as the Reptilians. And we see that there is less Arcturian and slightly more Palladian. We are saying it's a complicated, convoluted question because, as you know, one vehicle can host many soul essences. And so we are saying it is a broad mix, but we are supporting all on the planet at this time, even those who are not part of our collectives as such, because we still respect all. We are still identifying and acknowledging that we are all one. And so, as we are working closer with collectives from a different vantage point, such as our dimensions, we are able to support all and see all souls' journeys as they are still striving to achieve the lessons and experiences that are necessary while they are physically embodying life on Earth.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share about that?
There is many collectives with names that you cannot even pronounce because there is no English translation. And so to try and quantify who is here and now, it's a very long list. And while many people love labels and names and numbers, it is not as simple as that. And so we want to confirm from your sessions that you had yesterday together, the epiphany that you had about the Draconians and the Reptilians being more predominant with future events for their necessary collective experiences to have what you could call bigger karmic lessons and experiences to endure. And this is purposeful. And we are saying you could have a vehicle who has always had a Palladian soul essences. And at this stage, those Palladians have mastered their experiences and the souls have shifted on, but the vehicles are still needing to be maintained for various reasons. And so you can have large numbers of walkouts, and those walkouts and those walk-ins could be a reptilian or a draconian. And that is fine. That is completely acceptable because as there is needing to be more who are left here to experience the harder challenges of what you would call the old earth. And we say you're all living on the old earth while you understand that you're waiting for bigger events to happen for it to be the official classification of the old earth experience. You are having tougher, challenging experiences which are out of the norm, which you could consider part of the old earth experience. And while for some you have not experienced the transitions and the traumatizing natural disasters in quotation marks, many have. And so there is much to be said because your planet is very complex. There is much going on in many locations. And so we love to be able to help you, but to be able to explain everything at all levels in all aspects could be a forever conversation. What you could tolerate has been forever. You would get bored of knowing all the smaller details of things because you're more interested, and naturally, rightfully so, of your personal journey and how this impacts you moving forward.
Okay. Well, thank you for that information. I appreciate it. Subconscious, we have heard that the laser event is now a new event. What can you tell us about that?
Bigger events must occur which are more drastic to be able to make the impact, the challenging, chaotic impact for those who needing to be here for the official, in quotation marks, old earth experience after majority of people have shifted. And so the details of how that will unfold is slightly different from perspectives of hearing and learning that there was one long, scorching trail that was going to etch and scorch into the earth in a long, swooping, sweeping line of destruction. That is no longer going to be the case. There is going to be more significant landmarks and locations that will have a pulse of that. And it will not be just from one source. We see that there is many happening almost simultaneously through different vehicles, we want to say to you.
Okay. Thank you. When you say it's going to happen with many different vehicles, are you saying like different human vehicles or actual like mechanical vehicles?
Both. They are mechanical, human-made vehicles that are to look as if they are driven, owned, and created by off-Earth beings. However, they have been manufactured on Earth.
Okay, thank you. With this new event that has been, I guess now transpiring, what shall we call it now?
The event. It has been given as many different names as you are having to experience new potential outcomes for the majority of the planet to shift. We are saying while people are feeling stressed and frustrated and impatient now, this is seemingly still a normal way of life, in quotation marks, normal. You're still going to work and you're still having systems sort of still working, regardless of whether they're empowering you or disempowering you. We are saying and seeing that after these bigger events, those systems will be very fractured. We are seeing much about this. This is going to give the people who survive this such a fear, such a scare, and that is extremely purposeful. We do not like this approach. The Arcturians do not like this approach. However, when you have chosen to terrorize many before in other lifetimes, this is a karmic experience for you to live in terror. This is not pleasant because we see the energy completely becoming very frayed, frazzled, overwhelmed, extreme. We are saying, while it's scary to have been a witness to this and to know that this has occurred, not that many want to commit suicide after that. They are so terrified of being killed. They want to live beyond any measure that they've ever wanted to live before. It's quite curious how humans and their mindsets work. We're giving the vehicle too much information at this moment, and so she is feeling like we have got off track. So you are welcome to ask us the question again, and we will make sure we give all information that you seek from us today.
Okay, thank you. I mean, it sounded like you were answering what we were asking. I guess what the question was really was, what would we call this new event if it's
Mm-hmm.
not considered a laser event anymore? What would be like the new term?
Mm-hmm. Well, it is what you would consider an energy weapon, laser beam event. Those who exit would see a flash of light. There is much descriptions of it that you could feel comfortable in saying, but we are saying what would be more appropriate for our perspective of terminology is that a big event is coming, the big event. And this is going to help many exit. And it's significant. They've done their duty, they've done their mission, and they are needing to be the victims and the leftovers, those who remain. They need to know that many good people you had exit points from this. Plays out to the drama, the tragedy of it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. The next question was about the Draconian that got really upset. We discovered in the session yesterday that this Draconian wanted to change the laser light beam event and was wondering how is that possible?
Mm. So, yes, indeed. He is a big player here on Earth, and he has many aspects of his soul here for the experience. And he needed to have more impact. He is, I want to say, spread around the world. And so he needed to have more of a diversity of personal impact. Um, so he was bothered that the information was shared because he doesn't want, this is multi-layered. He doesn't want his collective to find out about the new Earth being off planet. This is very frustrating to him because he feels that this is unfair still, that his collective cannot go to the fifth dimensional new Earth, as many are. He feels very resentful of this. And even though he knows he is collectively holding back his own collective from shifting with humanity, he is feeling like he's still in charge and in control. And he wanted to create more fear so they would not get as much hope. He did not want them to find answers for the solutions. He did not want them to learn any bigger perspectives of the significance of what was happening. He feels that the bigger lessons that his collective and for those reptilians would be the more harder, unsupported, devastating chaos experiences to have the maximum lessons, to never do this again, to consider other planets, species. And he is worried that if these lessons are not profoundly experienced, that this could be a continual cycle. And now that he is working with other collectives, he is wanting and needing a more severe, harder experience here to ensure that with future events coming, that his collective will be able to evolve into a fifth dimension. And he is seeing you can only advance until the whole collective has had an experience of a collective knowing, a collective unity, expansion, consciousness wise. And so he was worried that when people hear the answers to why and they find inner peace, that he was worried that those lessons would be shortcutted. He doesn't want shortcuts. He wants it to be dramatic and challenging for those lessons to truly, fully be felt. And he was seeing that some of his collective were listening to this information. And this was frustrating for him because he doesn't want this level of truth of what's to come. Partly because he's jealous that his collective doesn't get to graduate to go to fifth dimension, that they still need to experience many more 3D planet way of living to come together in unity as a collective. So he realizes that from his choices, he has limited his own collective. And now he has healed and he is wanting to be of a leader of a true value, true inspiration. He is wanting to go as fast and hard as possible so then his collective can graduate also.
So, subconscious, are you saying that he's actually trying to help?
Tough love. So it is hard when you are assisting with such chaos to come. But it is necessary for them to have those harder lessons. As you know, the old Earth official experience is not as long as it was planned, because you're really cutting into a lot of what you could call time now. And so there is a limit to how long you can have life on Earth for various reasons. And so it was going to be necessary to have a more chaotic, harder, challenging experience to quickly learn those experiences versus it being drawn out. And so it's going to be completely breathtaking and shock and awe. And we're not seeing many that will be able to have true balance and inner peace throughout the entire thing, because any news is going to be shocking at this level.
Okay, well, thank you, subconscious. The next question is this Draconian trying to harm those who aren't sharing the truth?
Is he trying to harm those who are not sharing the truth?
Oh, I'm sorry, who are sharing the truth?
He was trying to block people from sharing the truth because, again, he was worried that if you know about the new Earth and that this is going to be okay and all is well, that he was worried that some souls, some aspects of himself even, would miss the illusion of the crises. And so he was frustrated that the secrets and the cat out of the bag was going to be let out, so to speak. And so he wanted to blindside everyone for the dramatics of the impact of those lessons and experiences. So he was frustrated. He wanted to slow down people. He did not like this. Part of him wanted to harm those who were trying to help because he was so hurt he did not see that it was help. So he was very reluctant and resentful. He did want to. He's had such a shift of heart, shall we say, a shift of perspective. He did want to slow humanity down. And he did not realize how much it was impacting his own collective and not empowering them. And so when he sort of had this epiphany and this healing, and he realized he does have a profound role he could have, then he was able to be more focused on empowering others. This is a significant change for him. And so while he wanted to stop people from sharing the truth, all measures necessary was his perspective. Now, he just wanted them to get he just wanted you to have his attention. He wanted to have attention. He wanted to be heard. He wanted this message to be shared, that you have to respect all life contracts and all free will. And from his perspective, the events must be traumatic, must be hard-hitting, must be devastating, because that is the karmic lessons that need to be felt. And while it's very uncomfortable for many to consider that and understand that, you could say with dramatics, he's terrified that this continues on because he knows how much it has hurt him and his collective. And they are wanting to truly have compassion and unity and empower themselves and not be left behind.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that information. Subconscious, you told us earlier this year that we would see a big event happen within a month, and you were very certain about it. What ended up happening?
Well, you could say the big event was his epiphany. We saw that he was going to snap and do more destruction as he had chosen. And we did see that that would have kicked off the laser event, what you would consider that one long stream event from one satellite that was going to scorch the earth in linear form. But just prior to that, we say he had that healing and he had that epiphany. And so we did not expect him to change his ways so drastically. We have tried to reach him so many other times in so many other ways. But to be able to call him in as we did, to heal him and love him and show him that we have compassion for him, deep compassion for him and his collective. And while we see the challenging choices that he has made and many others have made, we can still respect all life contracts and all life free will, as that is merely the game. He was not cheating the game, but he realized that he was not advancing in the game that he wanted to play. But he realized that he needed profound healing. And when his own collective embraced him, you could say he was such a tyrant that his soul family couldn't even reach him because he was so deeply wounded. And now his soul family is supporting him more than ever. And we honor that because we see the extreme advanced lessons from Earth. And we applaud all future peace and harmony together. Because when you really understand how we're all one, we are always rooting and supporting all collectives as they are on their own independent journey to evolve.
Thank you. Subconscious, can we expect these planned events to keep changing again and again until things do occur?
With many people having exit points faster now, independently without bigger locational exit points, we are seeing that it is about who is using their free will to have exit points and where certain people are around. And so while we could give you a certain location of some of these events that are unfolding, that could change because of who is there. And it is also the locations can change, but there must be big dramatics. And as you know, we do not allow nuclear weapons to be detonated on this planet. We've taken that technology away. And so we do not want this to be part of it. But we do say that there is many other types of weapons. But the agenda that is coming is that it is meant to be humans are the victims to off-planet beings. That will give no accountability to who truly is behind that. And so this will force many to comply to more of a one world order, as you could call it, as it has impacted many. And we see the laser event did not trigger this one world order of security and this, we want to say, this fake illusion of unity with all countries. But this does give a sense that, and a reminder to all, that you are on one planet and you are one humanity collective, as you say. While you are all part of different collectives, the humanity conscious collective is still one unity. While there is fractions, you could say, different focuses, you're still all connected in energetically. You can all feel each other energetically, regardless of what collectives you come from. We are seeing that it needs to be like this because then there is no individual country that is the bully. We see that then it's an unidentified foreigner, an off-earth being or beings. And this will make humanity humans, even though this is a falsehood of information in terms of who's behind it. This will give all humans an opportunity to reconnect and feel the unity again. So this will help with the old earth experience to be all victims to this and have a stronger sense of unity. Humans don't seem to celebrate successes collectively. They only seem to rally together and be motivated for community when there is tragedy and when there is drama and when there is things such as the scariness of death. That seems to motivate you to want to connect in and share and care about each other more than just being good Samaritans, shall you say.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that information. Subconscious, what would your advice be then on how to keep balance with all this information as we are waiting for it to unfold?
Respecting all life contracts. You can assume accidentally that everyone has been fantastic beings in other lifetimes. And while you believe that everyone has good because everyone is good, many souls have had the use of their free will to tragically impact many. And that soul wants to be able to feel being on the opposite side of that. That is how they will grow, by being on the other side of it, this challenging experience, for them to completely believe it's fully real. And we are saying, for those of you who know who you are and why you are here, to be here to share your light, to love all, we are saying dramatically, you must love those Draconians, you must love those reptilians, you must love everybody, because all souls are one. You are all connected, you're all part of Source. And while there are different levels and different evolution histories, you're all family. And we are saying, when you see someone who is in fear, you must support them and love them. And we are saying, this is impactful to many at different levels and layers. And while you are working on your inner peace, and while you're noticing any triggers that are tensing your body and tensing your mind, to be in true balance and harmony, remembering that all is well and all is necessary to play out. And we're saying to you, the bigger dramatics and the more tragedies, we say, the better the life experiences and lessons. And for our perspective, if these lessons aren't experienced and expanded upon and fully, deeply felt, we could continue on with this disconnection, with this level of corruption, with this level of manipulation in future planets in the 3D. And this is not advancing souls. While it's an interesting opportunity and experience, this is perverted and inverted, and where the souls want to grow and expand. And this is too toxic, too detrimental. And this is truly not what advanced souls enjoy. And so there's much souls that are still exploring and growing. They haven't achieved higher dimensions yet. And we say, when you've worked hard as souls to advance yourself an evolutionary rate to be advanced, there is a very challenging downgrade to come and be here in a third dimension. And it is not easy. And you know this. And we are saying, for those collectives who haven't advanced yet into a fifth dimension, who are still playing around in many 3D planets, this is the time for them to grow up and to feel the consequences of what they've been doing. And when they realize and grow, they will suddenly realize that this was not feeding them. This was not giving them joy. This was not pleasing them. This was a dirty way of experiencing how to manipulate others. It is not of love and light. And so some collectives have needed more time to be ready to be that mature with their approaches and their respect to others. And that is fine. This has just been a very challenging one because they have not learnt these lessons, and it's well overdue. They have destroyed many planets, many civilizations because of it. And this is a very tiresome game for many advanced souls who do not want to be distracted by this when they want to experience 3D way of life, of living in a physical, manual way of living. And this can be very enjoyable, but not at this level and not at this rate. And so something needed to be done. And this is the time, shall we say, for this to be finally learnt at a deeper level. Is there are more souls on this planet being human. This is why some of them will say this is a prison planet, because they have been imprisoned here to forcibly feel the chaos coming. This is why they love listening to, or keep being guided to, shall we say, all the disinformation that you would call disinformation from the truthers, because they are just constantly needing to be marinated in fear and chaos and doomsday experiences, because this is getting them to be having their old earth experiences now. This is why many of them have been awoken but cannot find the reasons why they are awakening. They cannot find the information about the shift to new earth. They cannot find the truth of that. So they are being convinced that when they come together and become kind-hearted and do their inner work, they will find a fifth dimension here. And so they get limited perspectives, but they're deep in fear and terror. And this is how they will learn. And that's how they will grow. And so the disinformation agents are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, be terrorizing them. They are stepping stones.
All purposeful, it sounds like. Well, thank you.
It is purposeful. They are supposed to learn the truth, but they can't fully learn the truth without having as much profound experiences as possible. And this is what the Draconian was feeling frustrated with. He was worried that many would be having shortcuts and assuming that they would be going to the new earth. And it's not the hope he is wanting for his collectives.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, subconscious. The next question is, after this event occurs, for those who are left here, how will the average person understand what has?
So they will be told that this is off-planet attacks, and this was brutal and calculating, and that they are in deep fear and being a threat of this occurring again.
Okay. Thank you. Percentage-wise, how likely will this event unfold?
Something of this magnitude must occur because we are needing swift exit points for certain people, as they've already learnt their lessons and experiences. And so you will know that many are having exit points through the inoculations. And so that is them wrapping up their experiences. They potentially will have some heart issues, some health issues that they will be aware of, to quickly make them realize that their bodies are very fragile. They will reach out to family and friends and make peace as much as and fast as possible. This is a fast-paced event now. And so we are still seeing it's about each individual person reaching out to the family and friends that they're supposed to make peace, to come together, to have compassion for each other. And this is what we've been waiting on for a long time. You are motivated. We see humans as being motivated. When you are sick, you do reach out to family, because it seems like when you have health issues of a severity, this is when people are meant to forgive each other quickly and to get real with silly bickering behaviors that have fractured family units.
Yeah. Thank you. Is there anything else we can understand about what else is to come?
So there have been many smaller groups of exit points, location wise. You are not hearing and seeing the true numbers. There is, you can find the true numbers of each region by talking to funeral homes and those people who are in the funeral industry, the death industry, but they have been heavily censored. And so the real truth, the real numbers mustn't ever be believed if anything has been projected out to you in the official mainstream narrative information. You will find that even the classifications of how people are dying is quite different now as well. There is much hidden information, and one must be very diligent and have actual privilege to be able to find certain statistics. Due to the increasing amount of exit points, we are saying and seeing that many official organizations of governments, for example, are not releasing official numbers. They may once have done quarterly or annually numbers of death tolls, and for their countries or for their communities, for their regions. This has now been changed. They are holding off giving the official numbers. And so if you look closely, you will see approximately, they will not have official numbers. They will, in fine print, say approximately, but they do not want to disclose their real numbers because they are not wanting to be held accountable for the big exit points, as this will awaken too many people to what else has changed. And we will say this will awaken the agenda of certain vaccinations. And we are saying we see many souls wanting to have exit points. And this was a very great opportunity for them to have that, to awaken those they left behind. Much to be said. We have said this before, but we want you to truly hear us when we say everything is significant and purposeful for that life contract and for all who are impacted by that life. It's no other possibility of any other way. All is significant and purposeful.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. For those who struggle to accept change, what advice would you like to give them right now, subconscious?
Well, brace yourself is what we'd want to say to you, because change is always going to occur, regardless. Yeah. seasons come and go, days come and go, trends come and go. You cannot hold anything down to a consistent favorite or routine as much as you try. Many of your guides are forcing dramatic change, the biggest one being 2020, where many jobs were taken and many jobs still being taken. We're saying, if you're wondering why you don't have a job, it is because you are needing to focus on self, empower self, awaken yourself. And then when you have full balance and harmony with yourself to be of service, this is when you will find the job you are needing to be in. We are saying, when you start focusing on money and the lack of money you are getting, you start noticing the smaller fun things in life. And when you have come from a comfortable income, shall we say, to suddenly then focusing on what's really significant and important, we see so many of you still treating yourselves to luxuries of foods that are no longer good for you. And so when you cut down on those treats, we say fantastic, because you would not have given up your sugary treats or your alcoholic treats or even your drug treats for many. You're having to make some mature decisions. And we are saying you all get as enough as you truly need. And yet many of you don't trust that. And so when you can honor your bodies truly, honor your minds truly, and work on your spirituality to empower yourself with trust, love, and faith, and hope that you know all is well, that's when life will become incredibly more easier for you, and you'll not be pushing against the system that is forcing you to go within. We say everything is significant there. And many of you who were trained in certain jobs and for whatever reason are no longer doing those certain jobs, you have got such great people skills that even having truly what you would consider a downgrade of a mundane existence of being, even just as a person who stocks shelves, your energy of love and high frequency, touching someone's tinned food, for example, would bless and honor that food and bless and honor that location. You could not imagine the profound effects that you could have by simply holding someone's tinned food. And this is of profound service. And yet many of you would be mortified to think that this is what we would like you to do. So you're all very capable, and your compassion for humanity and your integrity and your beautiful moral compasses to be working hard for humanity is not forgotten. And there is so many services that could support you all to be able to have a fulfilling working scenario. But we understand for you who do not have inner balance truly yet as a great solid routine, those jobs of being of service would drain you too much and greatly because you do not know how to ground yourselves. You would just be collecting density and short-circuiting your energy fields versus being a continuous energy flowing stream of gaining high frequency and sharing it and having that beautiful cycle of expanding the energy, bringing in and calling upon the energy and sharing it and sharing it and sharing it. When you are doing that, you do not have the capacity to hold the density. And we see many of you are calling upon the energy and sharing it while also then noticing the density that you have found yourself in, and you're holding on to that density too much and recognizing it as if it's your own. When you are sharing high frequency vibrations to many, you are noticing this shift in the energy fields, and then you are noticing the density that they've been carrying around. When you notice that, your consciousness shifts into that density versus focusing on pulling in more frequency vibrations. We're saying you need to be more comfortable and more aligned with releasing the density as fast as you collect it. And so this is about feeling into each other so deeply and profoundly you don't realize what you're picking up from others, as you are sending so much love to their frequency and to empower them with high frequency vibrations. You are noticing what's come from them. And this is a dutiful gift you're giving them to absorb their energy of density. But if you do not ground yourself with it, you will hold on to it. And we're saying you literally almost need to jump up and down, stomp your feet and shake your hands to sort of get rid of the density. Because when you feel into someone's sadness, when you consider and hear other people's stories, regardless of whether they're telling you your life story, their life story, or you're just feeling them feel so lost, so despair, so concerned, so worried, you can absorb that by just observing someone. They don't even need to speak a word to you, and you know exactly what's going on for them because you can feel their density. So when you're distracted and you're not realizing all that you do, you can accumulate a lot of density without knowing. We say you can even feel it when you are driving a car and you're looking at the car in front of you, you're actually absorbing the energy field of the car in front of you. And if they're late, or if they're stressed about the price of their petrol, if they are stressed about the state of the world or their futures, you will absorb that too without noticing. So you must know how to ground yourselves. And the challenge with then grounding yourselves is that you feel so fresh and renewed and enlightened, which is beautiful. We want that for all of you. You'll quickly absorb the density again because that's just what you naturally do. And so it seems to be in a stark contrast between that beautiful, relaxing piece of mindset and relaxed body. It's so fresh and easy and flowing. Then to suddenly feel slammed against the density at an intensive rate all of a sudden again. It is the stark contrast between brushing your teeth with a very strong minty flavored toothpaste, and then biting into an apple. It is the stark contrast, so severe, so sharp that you notice it. And it's like when you do not cleanse and ground yourself completely, you won't know the difference of the density you're carrying around. You just burden onto yourselves. But when you clean and clear the energy field, you will notice how quickly challenging it is to accumulate the density. And again, you must honor that energy and drive it into the ground. It no longer serves you, and it certainly doesn't deserve to be sent back to those who you have collected it from, because you're part of a service you're giving them to take that from them, to give them a lighter load for that day, for that moment, for them to be able to have some opportunity for upliftment.
Thank you. That was very good information. I appreciate that. Subconscious, we had a soul from yesterday's session come in and was wondering, is there anything she would like to say?
Yes, yes, indeed. Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to be recognized yesterday in your session. I do appreciate that because I do have much to say. And this is a fine opportunity to do such, as I see the challenge of keeping up to date with the information that is given through these sessions, and then for the information to be changed because of the exploration of more impactful experiences that are needing to occur. This can have a feeling of being a backfooting, of confusion, of when did it happen and how did it happen and what's going on, and this confusion of too much new information. And it can be off-putting for those people who want to hear one certain information of future events and then not have it evolve. And I am saying that it will always evolve until the events occur. That's when you can be certain of what needs to occur. While you are completely out of control with what is happening and what will be needing to happen, you have the privilege to hear the advanced information as we perceive it, but it does change rapidly as we are seeing different approaches being more impactful for those important experiences. We're all working hard to make sure that the repeat of Earth never happens again. And there has to be consequences for past choices that have impacted greatly many souls. This is not a punishment. This is learning to be responsible for actions, behaviors, agendas, and moral compasses. And so, as we are working hard to fine-tune this to be the best experience for all lessons, we appreciate your tolerance and respect that what we are pushing and encouraging and guiding all to do is for your embetterment, not just for humanity and not just for all the individual collectives, but for all of your future experiences on other planets, where you are guides, where you are guardians, where your soul family resides. Earth is a small but very important key to a beautiful, peaceful way of living with more balance and harmony. And this is where other important experiences for souls' journeys and growth can feel safe, can feel supported. But this needed to be stopped. This needed to be learnt and grown from. And so, from this perspective, you'll understand how there are still many wheels, many cooks in the chef, many cooks in the kitchen, shall I say, to make sure this is the best perspective and experiences possible. This is too important to risk having anything less than the most appropriate experiences. And so I know the vehicle was concerned that the information that she has shared could now look like disinformation because of the new events. But it is not disinformation, because even I said that the information from my sessions was always evolving as you are moving forward to better timelines, better experiences. And it is hard for many to accept that more chaos is better for those lessons and experiences. And I know now that when I have shared this message, this will be understood profoundly and respected profoundly, because this is an important one to be reminded of. And while you're all here, diligently loving all, we understand that you can feel very frustrated with these ongoing events dragging out. But you will be able to have peace of mind and peace of heart to know that it will be well worth it, as these lessons that have been experienced today and in your future do have the most appropriate impact for all collectives.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Do appreciate your perspective. I would like to ask, or I'm sorry, do you have anything else you'd like to share?
All is well. And I love that people are still having sessions for themselves to be able to have these experiences of information through them. This is a profound experience. And for those who have had sessions, they understand that. But I am saying Mr. Stupid still controls many of you, and this is not helping you. While your energy fields are so connected to your subconsciouses more than ever before, you have to go with it. You have to go with the sessions. You have to go with the flow. And when you are doubting and questioning and dismissing, you're sabotaging your own sessions. And for the practitioners who haven't had their own sessions yet, you cannot truly be of service when you don't understand that most clients of yours will not see anything with their eyes, they will not hear anything with their ears. And this is about the softness of the senses, of the mind's eye, as you're journeying with your subconscious to the most appropriate information that needs to be given to you to help assist you with this lifetime, because this lifetime is the most important lifetime of all, because you're living it now, and you get to choose how you feel and respond, and you get to choose to be of service. And I thank you all for being of service, because I know it's very challenging to believe in something that has truly no physical proof as such, as you would love to share it with your friends and family. I know deeply how it feels when you do not have your own friends and family believe in the things you intuitively know is true. And that is part of the lessons to accept everyone, but to love yourself and never doubt yourself and your own intuition, knowing that you've honored your journey, you've forgiven yourself, you forgive others, you've healed yourself as you want to inspire others to heal themselves. Check your egos constantly to see what your agenda is. I see some of you using my work for your own egos, and it doesn't work out for you, does it? And that is learning curves and all as well. But when you want to respect this work and respect the high advanced beings who are so willingly wanting to help support you and your clients, that is when you will find your peace and balance and harmony. I'm always there watching you. I'm always there supporting you. You can feel me when you read my books, because I'm always with you all. I love this work so much, and I have spent many lifetimes wanting to connect in to give many the answers that they can't find in their local libraries.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate that information. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
You're more than welcome, and I know that you see me watching you as you have such a brilliant mind. And you always impress me with the way you approach metaphysical perspectives over any fear-based nonsense. And this is truly remarkable for you to live this way, because it has such greater peace and joy and harmony. And I watch many who can achieve that, because it is nice to see those who are living here now not getting struggled by or bothered by even the distractions. And you've found your true self. And so while you still have your earth experiences, you're not manipulated by the disinformation. And that empowers you, because you do not get distracted by it. And so it's nice to see people walking with balance and harmony. And so when I present myself to you, I am smiling, because this is a marvelous approach that you have. And not everyone can have this faith and trust in self. And truly, when you empowered yourself with loving self, you advanced so tremendously. And so it's nice to see strong, light beings here, walking the earth, sharing their love and joy. But you find, when you notice the density, it can be completely overwhelming. And so it's about just releasing that tension, because it is not yours. But this is a beautiful service that you give. And so I do enjoy acknowledging you. So thank you for seeing me.
Thank you for making your presence known. It's always lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Would you like for us to call back the subconscious, or would you like to share anything else?
With the information that has not been shared that I was collecting between 2012 and 2014, could also be the same said information about it's too advanced. If it was published, it would just be too advanced. And this would give shortcuts to many who still need to have profound traumatic impacts experiences, including the reptilians. And so this is why many of them are still saying that the new earth is here, and that they are feeling the fifth dimension here. And so they are needing to focus on here and who they are, and trying to work on improving themselves to be better humanitarians, to ideally not buy into the corrupt systems, but they are still the lovers of money and business and industries and enterprises. And so they are still on their journey. I know it can get very confusing for many who have experienced their own sessions where they have been told the truth of where the new earth is, and how many are shifting now to the new earth while they are still waiting for that. They have shifted. They are recalibrating themselves, and they are waiting for the majority to go together. But I say, when you read my books, you will be activated. Then when you listen to my sessions, you get activated. And of course, when you have your own sessions, you get advancedly activated. And that is just a small honor, a gift from my soul to be able to help assist with you with those. But it truly is now up to the practitioner themselves and up to the clients themselves who are ready to surrender and allow the channeling of their subconscious and all their loved ones who they want to call into these sessions to give them support, moral love, moral encouragement even. I can see and understand why many don't want to have these sessions, because they don't want to be accountable for what they know truly is not empowering humanity. But there is enough that is. And so, for those who are going to be completely blindsided with the bigger events coming, that is significant and again part of their life contract. This is a hard one. Tough love. Tough love is always going to be tough, but with love.
Yes. Very good explanation. Well, thank you so much. Now we'd like to invite the subconscious back in, please.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Subconscious, what would be the old Earth experience now for people?
Yes, it's about having a more unified experience of being victims to the off-planet beings. And so it is again about unity. It is about supporting each other, relying on each other, trusting each other, and feeling into each other's experiences and having compassion more than ever before. You will not be afraid as such as the stranger danger of humans anymore. It will be you all working together. And this is going to be more supportive, connecting, remembering that Earth is about emotions. And so when you challenge and trigger the deeper emotions of trauma, you are all together with this. Because there is so many origins, you do not, there is many who are not from the countries they live in. And so if we did have one villain country, say, for example, using a massive weapon to have many impacts of many exit points, everyone connected to that country then becomes the problem. And while we would love to say that humanity loves humanity, regardless of where you're at, we see, for example, many people still judging Germans for the Nazi war currently. Do you understand what we're saying about how anyone from Ukraine or even from Russia now, we are saying that you're implicated because of your origin. And so while there are so many of you living in countries you're not born in, it was appropriate for this tragedy to come, shall we say, to be presented off Earth, because then it is us, us. It's not the Arcturians, it's not any of us, but it is humans assuming it is us. And so therefore humans are together, united finally, as you are now having to come together to combat something that is monsters in the sky, shall we say, for the dramatics. So there will be a shorter sense because we see more people exiting from these events than, say, the laser would have been able to have done. We also are seeing more earthquakes, weather systems, floodings, and even a volcano that will be taking people from exit points for their exit points, their chosen exit points. We just want to remind you that we haven't forgotten about any single one of the souls on this planet. We know what we are doing, and we are guiding you to be in the right locations at the right time. All is well. And we hope that you do not worry about these events coming, because you know that this is lessons for those collectives and those souls who need to feel the scare, the panic, the victim. All of those emotions are purposeful and necessary.
Yeah, thank you. Subconscious, with that being said, what would you consider to be the maximum length of time for the old Earth experience now?
A few months. It's going to be so shocking, but also because of the profound weaponry of the events, it will trigger much more earth events, so much more earthquakes and a lot of other scenarios, because it deeply impacts the surface greatly. And so you could imagine, for example, when the pulse goes onto a location, it is so deep that magma comes through. And so that makes the crust of the earth, the edges of the earth, no, the surface of the earth is the most appropriate word to say, unstable. And that it is purposeful to keep the dramatics up for long. You can only be in terror for so long before you get burnt out. And so this is heavily motivating many. We could see that you could have, while we have said months, that is for the majority, but we could see a year, above a year for some who deeply have longer lessons to experience. So there will not be many, but this is possible. Again, we're not counting the days, we're counting the experiences. See the difference. Understand why there is the delays. It's not the time we're counting, it is the lessons, the approaches, the compassion, the mastering of the emotions, and finding oneself back with love of self, accepting of self, loving of others, and acceptance of others. That is what we're waiting on.
Thank you. Subconscious, what will New Zealand look like with the old Earth?
Fractured, very reactive, lots of earthquakes, many earthquakes, and so that will make people shift at different times. And it is purposeful.
Thank you. What about where Sally lives? How will that look?
Very similar, very similar, because you both get the flooding, and you both get the land movements, And so it's very similar.
Okay, thank you.
we it is funny that we understand that you have the maturity to understand what is to come. You have experienced so much of the new earth in many of your own sessions. You know it's all purposeful, and we find it amusing that you're thanking us for this information, because we know many who could be listening are quite terrified of this, and they can't comprehend how calm you are and how grateful you are to hear this information of such big tragedy. So we are reacting. We are showing the vehicle people just with their mouths wide open, listening to you, thanking us for giving you this information, which is blowing their minds. So we are acknowledging why we are not laughing at those people in shock, because that is not what we're doing. But there was a response to people listening to this and not understanding why you're not screaming, crying, and begging for change.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I do appreciate the information. Thank you so much.
Mm.
And appreciate the perspectives,
Mm-hmm. Well, we know that you have done enough of your inner work to realize that you do not control this reality. You control your emotions, which then is a form of you controlling your own personal reality, in terms of you choose to find joy in your life and acceptance, and to respect all life contracts. That is how you find your balance, because you know your place.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, subconscious. We do have another question. What new positive experiences will be coming from these changes? And are we heading there, or are we hearing about them now?
Mm. Well, there is, in the what you could call the truther community, while there is much extra over fear, disinformation being shared, they are finding more like-minded friends than ever before. And so they are forming their own groups of like-minded people who are wanting to help each other out. And so they're very open to all information, and they're so thirsty to find out the truth, that they're even more open to spirituality and off earth planets and off earth beings than ever before. So they are almost getting to the saturated of information where they're just like, nothing will surprise them at this point. And because they have seen the outrageous lies and disinformation and the hidden agendas for the governments and the official narratives of the mainstream media, they are realizing that they have been potentially lied about everything. And so they're more open and accepting to sharing even information about spirituality than ever before. And so these groups are empowering each other, sharing lots of information. While there is disinformation that is from what we would say from the Arcturians is disinformation, because it is a limited perspective, it is still significant and valuable stepping stones for them. And so eventually those who are supposed to find the advanced information will. And it's a time, it's a journey, and it's an experience for everyone to explore. So we see great connections now, because this flow of information, these groups of information who are sharing openly, there is a less shutdown of conversations about off earth beings, for example. There is open conversations about everything at this point, And so while some people are still only heavily focused on a few things and only tolerant and open-minded to certain things, they are realizing the more they grow, the more they learn, the more they don't know. And so they are realizing it's only a limitation to shut down all new concepts. If they can't figure out discernment, if they are starting to realize that everything is possible at this point, because they're realizing that they have been consistently lied to about everything. And so this is great positive communities and connections. While some are getting stale and old, that is purposeful to drive people to find the next new information of truth that they are now ready to hear, because they have just seen so much disinformation on all aspects. They are more than open now to explore their minds.
Love that. Sounds fantastic. Thank you. Subconscious, anything else you would like her, the vehicle, to know about other events?
All is purposeful, and while you're not hearing all information about what is to come and even what has occurred, there is such tight limit of true information that is coming out. This is why it's another great aspect to have friends from all around the world in the social media connections and networks, because whatever is happening to them, they will share it as a personal first-hand account. And so this is actually where you can get more reliable information from people living those experiences versus trusting the mainstream media or even the alternative mainstream medias of other fractions. They still do not disclose all information because they are still trying to pander and cater for the average person. It's a slow awakening, we can say that, but with more people wanting to share their truth and their facts of what's going on in their environments and in their locations, the more information will be shared. While there was much reservations and concerns about the internet and how this would help humanity or hinder humanity or expose humanity, we are saying this is a beautiful connection when the truth is being shared, but not all of you are ready for big truth, and you're just having bite sizes of information, and that is appropriate for you. You will not be able to truly hear or apply or absorb the information that is above your readability, what you're ready to be able to expand upon. You will hear the words, but you'll be distracted focusing on something else. And so we say, listen, grow, listen to a session, grow, apply, grow, and then re-listen to it. You'll hear new things. And that is purposeful.
Yes, yes. Is there anything else you'd like to share at all, subconscious?
While it feels like the big disclosures are not coming through the mainstream and public, we are saying it is, but you're just still waiting for the official people to say it. Many things are happening, but because there is so much, you're not noticing the significance. But each day there is new disclosures of information that is all part of the journey and the puzzle. And so when you look at all the pieces that you have, there is much disclosures out there. And so do you want to keep focusing on what needs to occur and what is occurring? Or do you need to focus on just maintaining your inner peace and grounding yourselves and releasing the density that you are collecting as part of your service for humanity, and being here with love and joy in your hearts and in your minds, and focusing on trusting that all is well And these harder life lessons for those souls that need those harder life experiences are going appropriately and is accordingly to plan.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Um, subconscious. Um, she had a client that had an implant in her. Why was there a blackout of the power at that point in the session? And what was the implant?
It was a tracking device to see where she was going because she is a very advanced soul. And so the energy she's bringing in is causing much changes. And so it was the reptilian collective tagging her to see where she's going, to see what impact she is having, because she is impacting locations in her country when she is traveling. And so when she is bringing intense energy of what you could call high frequency, it is putting so much pressure on the land that it is needing to balance and rebalance itself, cleanse, big cleansings. So when the question was posed to remove these from many people who were being tracked, the question was, how will they notice the difference after having these implants removed and the internet for the location where the vehicle lives shut down? And this was because the reptilians did not want the vehicle or the practitioner to know that it was going to uplift them and they would have more free will to move in the locations that they chose, which needed more density. Well, sorry, that has more density. And so they are naturally been drawn to the heavier density locations. And they flitter between the heavily dense populations versus the tampered with, more imbalance and peace areas of their country. And so it was just the reptilians wanting to have heads up where the next big cleansing would be. And so this was to kind of repel this big energy light worker to come in and cleanse this land, because they feel like they need more time to clear out their own lives and living. He is saying this is not humans that are reptilian starseeds. We're saying this is actually the reptilians themselves that are in the what you could call evolved lizard dinosaur beings that are under the surface. So this was them asking their collectives for help to have a heads up, and they were being told that there were living soul essences here that were cleansing, using the energy fields to cleanse the land and rid the density. And unfortunately, it is like saying you are spraying fly spray in the house, but it will kill the plants. And so the plants were asking for heads up to move before this event occurred. It's an adjustment. There is many souls that we are looking after. So we love all souls. We want to assist all souls. And not all souls are ready yet to shift themselves for various reasons. So this is how we work, and this was not an invasion on that vehicle. She agreed to give them warning, but also that if she was getting too close to an area that is not quite ready for the cleansing, she would be compelled not to go that way. And this is not breaching her free will because she is respectful of the gift she is here for humanity with. I hope this makes sense.
Yes, makes a lot of sense and very interesting. Very interesting. Wow. Subconscious, how is the vehicle's body going?
She's very relaxed. She's enjoying this relaxation because she has been noticing that she has been collecting more tension in the body as she is working hard to apply what she is learning and hearing from sessions. And so she is starting to occupy her mind again back into one of her old passions, which is the pottery, which keeps her mind very busy with inspiration of ideas. And so she is starting to focus more on creativity. And this is a lot of think pieces with this. Whereas we've needed to keep her mind blank almost when she was focusing. She wants to have more of a balance of creativity. While she still does sessions and wants to have sessions, she is wanting to find a little bit more of her own personal joy again. And so she wanted to get back into the pottery as a way to not keep thinking of sessions or her clients who are either still struggling to heal themselves or trust themselves or believe in themselves or believe that they are valuable and deserve love. She cares about her clients so deeply that she just keeps trying to send them love. And so when she's not in sessions, we try to just get her into a meditative state. And so she is not over worrying, overthinking, over feeling the sessions. She does like to process them, but as soon as she does the next one, it's like she forgets all the information from the session she just had prior. And it's not possible for her to remember everything from all sessions because that is too much for one brain to have in consciousness. So we take the memories away from each scenario until if she has to have another session with that client again, it will flood immediately back as soon as she starts talking to them about what they need to get clarification on for their next sessions. She needs to know that when she is in the pottery mode, she is needing to enjoy the stages, and she knows this. Whereas she had such high expectations on herself to create powerful statements that would heal and love the world. It's ultimately what she was driven to do with her pottery and her photography and her painting. She wanted to express and bring in a love language and a sense of wellness that anyone that saw her work would feel balance and harmony and love and inspired them to see love with their lives. And she's been doing this for so long. And so we are balancing her. We are working hard with her.
Thank you. And if there's any tension she is holding in the body, can we help release it too now?
Yeah, she has been noticing that there was some tension. So she self-regulated that because she tells her clients this all the time. The only thing you're supposed to do is relax the body. That's all you've got to do. And so she has noticed that. But it is about her daily life now. When she is focusing on the pottery, she is feeling all of the feelings that the people that are buying the pottery are feeling. And so she is transmuting the energy. She's holding that density. She's feeling into so much when she thinks about people. And so she's just noticing what she has been doing her entire life. And she's realizing it's a lot. When you're thinking of someone, you're absorbing everything that is going on with them. And this is why lots of the second wave volunteers don't want to deal with public or people at all. Because they just cannot seem to maintain the balance of not absorbing that. And she is noticing how much it holds on to her body. The tense anxiety, stress that the people have when she is just communicating with them. Just about the pottery exchanges. She did not realize how much just communicating with someone and thinking about someone and writing to someone in a transaction of pottery. And this could be a transaction over anything. And so, as we were saying before about people stocking shelves, the energy that you're putting into the product is profound, it's pure, it's love. But you're picking up all the tensity, all the tensions that that person's having. And this is how fun time is. You could unstock a whole trolley full of cans, and each can you pick up, you can feel the home that it is going to and the people that are consuming that food, even though they haven't even entered the store yet. And that is because there is no such thing as time. You're feeling into future events. You're feeling into a family or a household having that tin of food in their home. And you're feeling it because you're holding it and you're absorbing where that's going next. And isn't that a marvelous thing?
Fantastic.
It will explain much to many people who are not understanding why they feel so exhausted, why they feel so drained. And we are saying you're sending out your energy to future events for people to feel that love. You are doing so much in advance. You are absorbing so much. And it is hard for you to understand the power and the ripple effects of sharing your high frequency vibrations to all.
Yeah. Yep. Subconscious. Can you please show her what some of her finished work will look like, as she has many ideas?
She just has so much inspiration of pottery and how to form the clay and to make it. And she loves nature so deeply that she is wanting to honor the nature through her work. And she knows that she will never be able to capture the beauty of nature and its raw essence through her clay pottery, but she wants to honor it so deeply. This is why she obsesses with the thoughts of it, because she wants to. It's just another way she loves Gaia and wants to honor Gaia and all that she has been able to produce. And so this is just a deep honor and expression of love to Gaia, to be able to remind people how beautiful nature is and to see a symbology of a natural piece recreated in honor. It is literally using the skin of Gaia, the clay of Gaia, to recreate life forms. She is only aware of this symbology now.
How does that make her feel?
She's realizing that the love she's always had for Gaia and the respect that she has for this beautiful soul gave her joy, gave her so much love that when she was creating her pottery, which was infused with Gaia, infused with love of Gaia, that is what she was sharing. That was her message to everyone. She was expressing and explaining to you that she was starting to feel and think that all the pieces that she was creating was infused with love, and she was sending them out to homes around the world as little love batteries. And that is literally what she was doing. But she didn't realize that her inspiration was with Gaia. So it is profound because many people are not aware even that Gaia exists, that the soul of this planet is a marvelous being that needs and deserves respect of all. Not that the soul demands it, but all souls should love all souls and respect all life contracts and roles. This is profound. This is empowering. This is empowering the vehicle.
Oh, that's lovely. Very good. Thank you.
It just makes so much sense. She just feels this overwhelming joy. Oh, thank you.
Great to hear. Thanks. Subconscious, is there any important information you can tell her right now that she's been pondering about?
She was feeling like the pottery, she was wanting to get back into it, but she still has this feeling that she won't get to do much of it. She still feels like things could just happen in a moment and be taken away, and they could shift. And ultimately, it is still something that could happen at any given time, because it's people's free will that is going to be igniting and starting the event. People's free will, they are so fickle. They could be triggered into pulling and activating this at any stage. And so we see that this is instability, and we will support that because it's significant and purposeful. And when they choose to activate this, they are so, we want to say, psychotic with their power, their egos, and their limited perspectives, that they will think that they will get more control and leverage over others, and they will not realize that they are releasing many from their life contracts here. And that's actually a graduation. And they don't realize the game they're playing. And so now that it is in their human hands, we are allowing this. And so humans can be so fickle and so triggered for very reactive reasons. And so the sense the vehicle has is that it could be something that could happen soon or a long way away. And so she is wanting to focus on the moments that she has, not get lost in future, and definitely not get lost in past. She wants to have beautiful balance. She wants to still honor clients through sessions, but she also wants to have a bit of creativity time So she is just not, she's wanting to be allowed to think again. uh, she has grown so much, and she has beautiful connection with us. So she wants to have more personal meditative state because she doesn't. And this is part of what she wants to do for her balance, is to be with us more while being busy with their hands to create and express, because she felt sad that that part of her life was taken away when she signed and agreed to be of service for us, to be able to provide sessions publicly and privately. And so this is her honoring herself, loving herself, while also honoring and loving Gaia, as well as loving and honoring those who will be receiving the pottery, as this is truly handmade pieces of love from her. And it is very high frequency vibrational. And this is truly a love battery, as she would say.
That's great. um, thank you. Subconscious, who would like to be channeled by her in the near future?
It feels like so many souls would love to take on the opportunity, but they also feel like they do not want to disrupt her time, as she is too giving. And so she is saying, it is fine, I don't mind. I want to share the messages that need to be shared. And they are saying, it feels like, again, Amy Winehouse wants to come back in because she felt so healed with the opportunity to come back in and love and laugh and cry over love again. And she thought it was fantastic. But she also feels like she still wanted to talk about the power of music. And she knows this is not a unique statement, and that everyone has said this before, that the power of music is profound and it is so uplifting. And so she just wants to come in now and say, thank you for that opportunity to have that healing in a physical body. That was fantastic. It's so what I needed, and I connected in energetically to heal at this level. And while I could easily have processed it with my mentality, I needed to feel it again, because I am such a compassionate but also romantic soul that I just love the emotions, even the ones that make you cry. They are so brilliant. And this is why I love Three Lives, because of the drama of the emotions are so intoxicating. And so thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would also like to be channeled in the future?
It feels like George Michael is saying he loves to talk to her. They often have chats. And so he's oh, he's wanting her to listen to his music and dance. He just finds that so hysterical and daggy. He just says that she is just so uncoordinated that it makes him laugh, and he just loves that. And he knows that his music uplifts her. And so he is saying, go on, do it, dance and sing to me, and I'll be there with you, laughing so hard at you. And that is just, he thinks that's going to be fantastic, and he wants her to do it when she's starting to make that pottery, because he can feel the smile, and he knows she's smiling so hard right now because she loves humor so much, and she loves dancing and sounds and music so much that she is already agreeing to him and saying, thank goodness no one's going to be watching or hearing, but she is going to have a blast with that. So she is very happy to have this dance date with Michael.
Sounds like fun. Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Subconscious, I have one personal question I would like to ask. So with the sixth connection in Mexico, I did notice that he, I don't know how to say this,
We want
but
to
you know
say
what I'm saying.
yes. We want to say that she was right in her mansplaining of giving you her opinion, that he loves all and he is respectful of that, and he has no boundaries with love.
Hmm. And just curiosity, with this connection that we had, how does he view that?
Mm. It is like an entwined equal, the piece that he's been missing. And it is so balancing for him now. It's strengthening himself. Because he felt like you were lost. And now that he's found you, even though he doesn't want or need to have you as a wife this lifetime, just the memory of you and the energy of you is so entwined with him already that he has found his balance. You are the invisible stability he's been craving.
Lovely. Thank you. Subconscious, is there any other information you'd like to share with the vehicle? Anything else?
The connections with people at the moment are profound and certainly not accidental. There is profound connections with people so intensively that you feel like you can read each other's souls at a heartbeat. This is significant as there are many, we want to say, new souls walking back in again. And when you have more than one soul essence in a physical body, you may even know this person for a long time, and then suddenly a spark, as if you've never seen it before, never noticed it before. And we're saying it is because that soul essence is just walked in. It's not necessarily going to be there forever or even a long time. But when you connect in at a profound rate, notice what you are feeling into, that joy, that love, that connectivity. We are all wanting to remind you without traumatizing you because of the lack of true connections to all here. We're wanting to give you that profound connection of love. It's not a sexual love. It is a deeply respectful love. We gave the vehicle an insight into her parallel life, where she's had this. It was so profound. That soul needed this. It confused the vehicle because of what she does know about that person. She is married, and we are saying that is the social illusion. You could say an open marriage as such, only because of the husband's wandering hands and eyes prior to this connection. And so we are saying that we're all giving you, at some degree, a profound connection to someone else, just to remind you the profound experiences that you're all going to be having after the shift. And for those who go to the fifth dimension, the new earth is abundant to that connection, because that is how you feel each other. You are training others when you are connecting in with them to be prepared for the new earth experience. As you understand, even just with one connection, it is intensively, intoxicatingly intensive. And this is multiple times on the new earth. It is quite staggering. And this is why we introduce you to the new earth as individuals, not all at once. You will not notice all. You will notice a very few amount to start off with as you're climbing to the intensive connections that you will feel with each other. It's so advanced. This is what all your souls are craving for now. This is why there is so much challenges, because you're all missing that. Most of you, that is your normal. That is your abundance of love and light that you are normally surrounded in your other lifetimes. And we want to thank you, all of you who are in balance and harmony and respecting the reasons why you here are more significant than you can ever understand, as your energy frequency is such a signature frequency to be a true asset and key to help empowering humanity. This is not an easy task, and this is getting harder and harder and harder as you perceive your time to move forward. But as you know, the more inner work you do, the easier it feels. But we are not going to kid you and pretend that this is rainbows and sunshine. This is extremely hard. This is extremely challenging. And for those who realize the more inner work they do, the more they go within, the more the love they give themselves, the easier you'll be able to cope with it. Truly is an advantage point for those who have mastered that already.
Wow. That explains so much. Thank you. Wow. Oh.
We aim to please, shall we say?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
we want to be here to help you. And while you can have many guesses and assumptions, this is easier for us to give you the truth of the matter. And while it may take you some time to be able to apply it and process it and see it and understand it, we're trying to help. Because as we said, this is not a picnic. This is a challenging, advanced experience that has broken many souls, shall we say, and they've used their free will to get out of this, because they cannot shake off the feeling of that density, the suffering, and the traumas that people are experiencing on a daily basis. Some souls are too fragile for that, because they are deeply connected in to what true love is. They just cannot cope with the inverted way of life here now.
Thank you. Thank you, subconscious.
You're welcome, and we are pleased to be able to have updated you on the situation.
Thank you.
We are saying that while there is going to be many events coming which are truly designed to scare you, to make you afraid, to have exit points for many. We're glad that you know and will apply the information that everything is significant and purposeful. There is no real death. It is just an illusion as you're shifting from one chapter of your lives to another. We understand you can be so fixated on the one life you can only remember. And we're saying if you remembered all your lifetimes, this would suddenly be very insignificant. We don't want you to feel like your life is very insignificant. We need you to feel like this life is very significant, because that's the only way you're motivated to connect in with others and support others and be friends and family to others. If you had the veil removed and you remembered everything you've played, all the games you've played, you wouldn't want to be a participant because you just know that all is well. So when you are reactive and very much focused on your routine of this lifetime, you actually are more involved. And we appreciate that, because the more involved you are, the more you share your energy. And that is the love that we need for all.
Thank you.
We appreciate this conversation, and we will proceed. And we appreciate all who are wanting to empower themselves to be of full service. And we always will say this with love.